Today's video is a little food haul, but it's all on Trader Joe's. So I'm gonna go through all Trader Joe's brands, what my favorite healthy snacks are, and then share my favorite little cheat food. Hey guys, it's Dr. Mona, and today's video is all about Trader Joe's. This came specifically requested from the Instagram community, so thank you guys for your feedback. You know, I do a lot of food hauls and, favorite snacks and recipes, but Trader Joe's is such a specific grocery store that I think everyone wanted to see, like, what are my favorite snacks here? What can I find that's really healthy here? I actually really like Trader Joe's. The only reason I don't shop there a lot is because they don't have Instacart, like food delivery, and I like to get a lot of things delivered. So I'm gonna go through and just go through the basics. I also really like how affordable Trader Joe's is. Honestly, their produce is so affordable, their snacks are so affordable, and they have really cool, like, unique things. Like, they definitely have their own, like, brand. Everything's really specific to, like, a Trader Joe's vibe. When you walk in there, everyone's really friendly. So I'm gonna show you what I got. Okay, so there's no rhyme or reason to this. I'm just gonna kind of show you all my favorites. Let's start with Persian cucumbers. I'm Persian, so I grew up eating Persian cucumbers before they were like a thing. And I love these at Trader Joe's specifically because they're organic. So actually, at Whole Foods, I find that the Persian cucumbers aren't always organic. It's really hard to find them organic, and Trader Joe's always has both options, organic and not organic. I think the organics just take a little bit more. So these are great. They're pre-packaged. I always just kind of like touch to make sure that they're firm. If you find like a mushy one, then don't get that package, but these are a staple. One more thing about cucumbers. I know Persians, the way we eat them, literally just rinse them with the peel on, put on a little sea salt, and just bite right into them. You don't have to peel them, chop them, anything. It's honestly just a perfect grab and go snack. This is the receipt in case I want to highlight any prices. Okay, next let's go through butternut squash. And I actually have two different kinds, so I wanted to show you. So one good thing about Trader Joe's is they pre-package everything, which makes it so much easier. Now, obviously, in a perfect ideal world, like, it's better to buy the vegetables whole and chop them yourself. You lose maybe a little bit of nutrient, but we don't need to be that nitpicky. I find that for things like butternut squash, even for myself, when I see it in the fridge, when it's like a whole squash, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of work. But when I see it like this and it's all ready to go, I can just throw it onto a pan with a little bit of oil maybe. You can steam it. These are kind of amazing, especially for kids, because they're cut into like crinkle fries, like crinkle cut fries. One thing I do, if you've ever watched my content on Instagram, I share is healthy baked sweet potato fries, where I'll literally just put down a little parchment paper or foil. I'll chop up the sweet potatoes really small. I sometimes do it with no oil, and they still come out crispy if you cook them like a little long enough. You could just coat these in a little bit of oil if you want sea salt, but they're literally ready to go French fries, and I highly recommend baking them because they're so easy and it's just so much healthier. So love these. Also great for your skin, the butternut squash. What else? So I showed coconut oil. I obviously get coconut oil from a lot of different places. I'm not saying this brand is any better than any other coconut oil. I like it because it's extra virgin and the price point is really good here. The coconut oil here is $4.99, and a lot of times you'll find it for virgin, it's a little more expensive. So make sure you're always getting unrefined. That means it's the least processed. You're gonna get the most nutrients, and coconut oil is just kind of a staple I always keep in the house. So that's an easy one. This is one of my favorites. I love beets so much. I love buying them at the farmer's market. I literally just take them whole usually and bake them, and then I'll slice them after so that it's not too messy, and then I'll eat them cold, I'll eat them warm. There's a really good like vegan ricotta by Kite Hill that I get, and I'll have like a beet, kind of like a beet goat cheese salad. What I like about these is that they're so clean, no mess, you don't have to cook them, and the ingredients are just beets. So a lot of times when I find beets at grocery stores that are pre-cooked, they have a little salt, they have natural flavor. Really try to stay away from natural flavor as much as you can, because I've said this in other videos and I'll say it again, the range of what could go into natural flavor is basically anything on earth. So any animal product, anything that comes from the earth is considered natural to the FDA. So be careful with that one, and these are literally just beets. I would highly recommend trying to add more beets into your diet. If there's one food that I think if I had to pick, it might be beets, because they're so healthy. They're great anti-cancer, like cancer fighting food. You could even throw it into a smoothie where you won't notice it. It'll just give it a really pretty pink color. You could literally take boiled chickpeas and then some beets and put it in a blender. You'll get pink hummus, or take some hummus you buy and blend it with beets. You really won't notice. It'll give it a really nice, pretty, festive color, and the antioxidants are amazing. So try to get more beets into your diet. Last, rolled oats. I know this seems kind of basic, but I will say for years, I've always really, really loved this brand of rolled oats. There's just something about them. I can't quite explain it, the texture, because all oatmeal has like a little bit of a different texture. So this is one that I've always used. Now, just a quick note, oats are always naturally gluten-free, like actual oats that are in oatmeal, but sometimes if they're mixed with different things, if they're in a facility that's mixed with different grains, you know, maybe there could be a kind that aren't gluten-free, but that's a little bit of marketing. So oats naturally should always be gluten-free. Okay, that's one bag. Okay, I love this one. So shishito peppers are one of my favorite things to get at a sushi restaurant. Every time someone asks how I like sushi restaurants, because I don't eat fish and vegan, like because I love all the sides that come at a sushi restaurant. Shishito peppers are literally my favorite thing. I don't know if you've ever had them before. Basically, they just come, it's almost like how edamame comes, but shishito peppers is another like appetizer you can get in the menu. They're cooked in a little bit of oil and sea salt. Everyone does them a little different, but I've never seen them anywhere but Trader Joe's. I'm sure you could look and find them, but this is where I first noticed them, and it always felt like a bit of like a luxury food where like I could only get them out at a sushi restaurant, so being able to find them there is really cool. I haven't quite perfected how to cook them, so if anyone knows how to cook shishito peppers just like they do at, you know, sushi restaurants, please let me know. The interesting thing about these is they're usually not hot, but you'll get one that's really spicy. You never know which one it is. There's always someone at dinner that gets like the really hot one, so you gotta be careful of that. Maybe kids should be careful eating these, but I love them. Okay, organic coconut chips. So this is just organic coconut, nothing else. It's dried coconut. I really like this because coconut's such an easy addition to add to any food to give it a little more oomph, like to give you a little energy. Healthy fats are actually the best form of energy. If you follow any of like the intermittent fasting or the keto diet, a lot of it's based on like heavy fats, and heavy fats really do give you instant energy. When you eat carbs for energy, like when people talk about carb loading, that's more the night before. So let's say you have a big marathon to run the next day, you could have like a healthy carb dinner at night, whereas healthy fats are gonna give you like an instant burst of energy. So these really, in terms of food combining too, go well with so many things. You could add it to an acai bowl, you could add it to oatmeal, you could add it into a smoothie, you could just like literally eat them right out of the bag. I'll show you what they look like. I just grocery shopped all this stuff this morning. They're so good. And by the way, artificial coconut and candy is not the same as what fresh coconut tastes like. I remember going like all of my childhood thinking that I hated coconut because that one like it's like a Mounds bar or something. There's some like coconut candy that I hated, but then when I discovered what actual coconut tastes like, it's very different. So give it a chance. This is just a good like Moroccan mint tea. I like it because it's organic. When you get just mint tea and not green tea, it is caffeine free, so that's good. Mint is really good for digestion. Just like a good simple one. These are also really good to throw into a cold water bottle for a little extra flavor. So this is a pretty good one. Riced cauliflower. It's just such a great staple also to have in your house. You could even freeze this if you want to get a couple and like, you know, save it for bulk. A really good rice replacement. Now I like rice, I'm not against rice, but what this is perfect for is when you're having a heavy protein. So when it comes to food combining, proteins and starches are just two things you really shouldn't combine. Even if you don't believe in food combining, which is totally fine, having a heavy protein and a heavy starch together is really just a lot in one meal to digest. So if you're having like steak and rice, or you're having a burger and a bun, like just things like that. So if you're having any kind of protein, let's say it's like a fish or a meat or even a tofu, having a cauliflower rice with it and cooking it really, really helps. Another thing you can do is blend it and do like a cauli mash. You basically just boil it and blend it. Literally tastes and feels like mashed potatoes. A little bit of sea salt and coconut oil. So it's just a good staple to have. Good for sometimes, but rice is definitely not the enemy. So I like rice sometimes too. Okay, this literally reminds me of college so much. I was obsessed with this brand, this like wild organic blueberry. There's something about this that feels very exotic to me, like wild organic blueberries. I really like it. And they're very small. So most frozen blueberries you get are really big. which I don't like big frozen fruit because then it tastes kind of mushy when you eat it or when it thaws out a little bit. These are really small. I used to take this one cereal, Puffins, it's called like Puffins, and put organic, these blueberries on them like frozen, and then with a little bit of almond milk. Oh my God, it's my favorite thing. I don't eat as much cereal anymore, but just having these are really good to throw into a smoothie. You really don't lose a lot of nutrients with frozen fruit, so I know that price can get, you know, it can get pricey to get organic berries especially, so this is an amazing alternative to that, to just keep in your freezer, have them as a snack, put them in whatever you want in your smoothies. It's a good one. Okay, Manuka honey I wanted to show because the price of this one was really good. This was $13.99, which seems like a lot, but Manuka honey is pretty expensive as it is. I think at Whole Foods I paid like $25 for one. It's a specific kind of honey. It's higher in like antibacterial effects, antiviral effects. It's a bit more medicinal than regular honey. So I always say, if you're going to eat Manuka honey, I would recommend using it for when you're sick and not just like putting it in a recipe. Like save that for the regular honey, really save this for like the good times. Obviously this is not fully vegan. Anyone who eats a full vegan diet does not eat honey. I think there's no rules for like, do you have to be in a certain category or a certain box? I eat honey sometimes, like when I'm really sick, pretty much that's the only time I'll have it. Besides that, I go for like maple syrup or coconut nectar, but this really does have some good benefits. This is like the Trader Joe's staple, the pumpkin pie spice. This one is seasonal, so you guys gotta make sure you get this before the holidays are over. It's so good. This is the best spice. I use it all year round. I even have like an extra one already in my drawer, but it's like, let me just stock up on it. It's cinnamon, ginger, lemon peel, nutmeg, cloves, and cardamom. So nothing bad in this, no sodium, nothing you have to worry about. All it does is add flavor, and it's actually so good for you. Cinnamon's amazing for your blood sugar regulation. Ginger is good for your digestion. You know, cardamom has great antioxidants. So it's honestly like, put this on whatever you want in drinks and oatmeal. It just gives it more of like a holiday vibe. And that does run out, by the way, because I remember like a couple years ago trying to go find it like in December and they were all out. So stock up on that one. This is not a Trader Joe's brand, but I was actually just shopping this morning and I was out of my Tom's toothpaste, so I decided to get some. I've really tried to make the switch to all non-toxic, and toothpaste is one of them. If you look on the back of a lot of toothpaste, it has lake dyes, like red, blue. Whenever you see those numbers, that's one thing I would try to avoid. So I love that they carry this brand. This also has like a peppermint flavor, so the plain one is a little like, you want a little bit of like mint in your toothpaste, so this one's pretty good. This is diced onions. So I will say with these, don't save them for too long because sometimes onions that are saved in the fridge don't have the best smell, and it can make your fridge smell a little bit. But if you're gonna use them right away, if you wanna go to the grocery store for like, let's say it's Thanksgiving or you're cooking, I do kind of love these because I hate dicing onions. They always make me cry. It's like a whole thing. These are like perfectly diced. You can use it in a soup. So this is a great one to just get for your like day of or next day recipe. And onions are amazing. They're very cleansing, great antibacterial and antiviral properties. Great if you're sick. They also boost your immune system. So if you can even just use onions, throw them into your meals. Like if you're sauteing anything, always throw in an onion because it adds flavor. And cooked onions are way less intense than a raw onion. I can't do raw onions, but most Persians can. If you have any Persian friends, they go to restaurants and just literally take the raw onion and like bite into it with like the kebab and like the wrap. I can't do it. Good for you guys. This is a little cinnamon whisk that smells so good, so fresh for holidays. It's basically just like, I mean, what does it mean? It's raw pine broom, cinnamon oil, cinnamon tree. They sell them in huge ones too for like $3.99. This one was like 99 cents, but I don't really like the look of the big one. It's not really my aesthetic. So I think having like a little secret one like this just kind of gives your like home a more cozy energy. And I'm really big on aromatherapy. I think smells, aromas, they're so relaxing. They can make you so happy. Anything I can do to put me in a more like peaceful, happy state impacts my entire day, even when it comes to healthy decisions you're making, anything you're doing. So find things that kind of bring you that joy, and I would try to double down on them because it will impact the rest of your day and the decisions you make. And lastly, this is my little cheat food. Actually, this one doesn't even have salt, so they're not as bad. So I mean, look, it's not horrible, obviously, but these are so yummy if you just want kind of like a, I don't care, food. I had to share one thing that's not so healthy. They're just little peanut butter filled pretzels, and they're so good. The ones with the salt taste even better. I used to munch on these when I was like in long car rides or whatever, but kind of a good one to have in the house. They're not the worst thing, but they're not the best thing. So that was it. I think I got everything in the bags. Those are my Trader Joe's favorites. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how it will work with linking these below in the description. I don't know if Trader Joe's has direct links, but I can at least list like the exact brands. We'll see when I get this video edited and what I can do with it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I was gonna do a Trader Joe's beauty haul, but I've genuinely never used any of their beauty products, so I couldn't do that authentically and let you know what I like. So my kind of mission right now is to do a little bit of researching and see what I like in terms of that, and then I'll do a video explaining what I found to be the best. So hope you guys enjoyed. Leave any questions in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.